Basement Bookers Podcast.
Okay, all right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the Basement Bookers Podcast. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope, should you choose to be it with your family, by yourself, with your cat, with your dog, any pet, or just yourself, or spend it with us, whatever. We're here. And after this one, there's a whole bunch. So you so much basement bookers, you're not going to be bored. So happy Thanksgiving, Rich Deriz. Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome, Rich Deriz, the most rizzest, baldest man, to this Basement Bookers Wrestling Podcast. Where we're going to talk about war games and other stuff in wrestling. Rich, how
That's
was
right.
your week today?
Oh, my week has been a month. I don't currently work in retail, but I still work for a retail company. So this is this has been crunch time. So happy Thanksgiving to you, bro. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the Bookiverse that celebrates, and special happy birthday to the gobbledygooker. Of course, you can't forget the gobbledygooker on Thanksgiving. It is his birthday. It's the day he hatched. Maybe that will be a hatch day.
How old is the gobbledygooker?
30 something.
Oh,
Let's say 37.
oh, wow. Okay, it's almost time for your colonoscopy, Mister Gooker. It's coming. It's almost time.
Turn and cough, buddy.
You gotta
Turn and
check it
cough.
out. Well, let's listen. All right, now, yeah, that's good. I'm glad that you had. Wait, so that's it. You're good. That's all your week so far. Okay.
How about your week?
Oh, I can't believe you asked me that. Well, it just so happens that I had to go to the next step in the crown procedure. So I got my crown in my mouth. So I have a tooth that's not exactly mine, but it's a mold of it. So it's in there. It looks good. It looks great. Like I didn't realize I missed it because like when they took it away and I had like a temporary thing, I had like this little thing there,
Mm-hmm.
because my tooth broke. And now I have like I'm like, wow, it was that big before. Okay, cool. It was interesting, not to say the least. So I got to go
Yeah,
back
because
next week too. So
that's cool. Because like you get used to it not being there at all, and then it's back, and it's like you take up a lot of room here, buddy. Can you
it's
like?
fucking big. I'm like, really? Wow, that's
Mhm.
interesting. So yeah, take brush your teeth, floss. I got a water flosser, so
Cool.
that's pretty
Have you tried
cool.
that yet?
Yeah, I've been using it every day. I
Cool.
got
How is
it
it?
a few days. It makes you feel clean.
Hmm.
It makes your mouth feel clean.
It's
I
like an
do it.
oral bidet.
I mean, yeah, I guess. And like before I go to bed, I do it.
Hmm.
I do that. I do the rinsing and I brush, and I'm like addicted to my like teeth health now because I really don't want to go fucking back to the dentist after this. And I don't
Yeah.
want a tooth to break when I'm eating chicken. It's like I couldn't believe it. But teeth are going to break. Richter is. Teeth are going to break at Survivor Series War Games. Bronson Reed says he's going to go viral. Bronson Reed, my warning to you is this. There are many ways one can go viral. Matter of fact, you could just type Titus into your GIF nut bar, and the Titus World Slide that went viral.
Mm.
So it's not always just good. But last week we have unveiled the Basement Championship. This week, the Basement Championship, depending on how it works out here, because technically I had it prepared for a rectangular square, but I forgot that I was doing the circles. Anyway, the point of the matter is championship belt. Perfect. Still
Nice.
fits. All right, great. So now the Basement Championship will be visible to everybody. And should the unlikelihood occur in a fantasy universe far from this place, perhaps which there is the Basement Champion. But that's not it. Wake up to a new reality because, well, it's the same reality, actually.
Yeah.
We've been doing gangbusters with Basement Chair as the champ. Many changes, many fantastic changes to the Bookiverse, incoming into your tailpipe, out your mouth, whatever. Anyway,
Alrighty.
Yeah. So, I don't know. How do you want to? You know what? Before we start, I know we're all happy to see CM Punk back, but I have evidence that CM Punk may not be that great of a guy. I give to you Exhibit A. CM Punk touching Jack Perry when he was a Jungle Boy. Here it is, folks. There's the evidence. There's Logan Paul. There it is. Hand right on the shoulder. He touched Jack Perry when he was a Jungle Boy. It's a wonder. It's a wonder that he's so upset with him and confronted him back there. He wanted revenge. Allegedly. I don't know anything. But anyway, I thought that was funny because I was going through, I was looking for stuff and art. And I found that what we looked at. And I was like, this could be evidence. And there it is. But I have more evidence. Tragically, Bianca Belair is no longer friends with Jade Cargil because Jade Cargil was taken out. And I believe, he believes. New Day anniversary coming up next week. That Jade Cargil was taken out by Bianca Belair. Now, you might be thinking, Basement Jer, you're talking crazy. That's her sister. You know, they're out there together. They're the tag team women's champions. Who do you think you are? What I am is an experienced wrestling viewer. Rich, what do you think about this? Before I show you the damning evidence. Rich, there is.
So, without having seen or heard the evidence, I would be a little skeptical, but you showed me what you showed me. And that plus conversation from earlier in the night, which we're going to discuss right after you show the evidence, makes me think you're right. You definitely could be onto something. I think you see the foreshadowing that they're the little seeds they're planting.
That's right. I can feel it in the air. I can feel it calling in the air tonight.
Oh, Lord.
So there it was, Rich Deriz. The evidence. The evidence. I never needed you at all. You know, I don't know if she normally does that. I don't know, but I felt like the camera was there for a reason. Because you're able to see it, Rich Perez. And hopefully they don't hit us for it. Otherwise, I had to take it out. But it'll be on Patreon. But now, when Raw starts, when Monday Night Raw starts, and Naomi and Bianca, they're coming from the car, I have this image, this still image right here. This doesn't look to me like someone who's out here for revenge, or a person that is walking into a workplace where one of these women attacked my friend. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who's telling the truth. Like, the only people you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there had to be something. Like, how long? You know, when did that happen? What is the timetable here? You know what I'm saying? We don't know when that happened. You know, because obviously Bianca Belair can't be two places at once. All right, hear me out. I got to put my face up here. Okay. Because I just realized my argument does kind of fall apart because, like, they found her a little late. Like, she came out to wrestle. So, all right. Well, maybe she got somebody to do it for her. You know, she doesn't necessarily have to do it herself. You know what I mean? It could have been a setup.
It could have been.
Like, who could she possibly hire to do that? You know what I mean? And, like, maybe somebody took her out for her, you know? So it could be her. I'm like, I don't know. You don't seem too concerned. You know, the only people you know didn't do it were in the ring with you.
True.
So,
but what leads me to think that you may be correct, whether or not it proves to be wrong, what makes me think you're right is earlier. Not obviously after Bianca Belair arrived and everything, she's talking to Naomi, and then Sky comes in and there's a conversation about, well, who's gonna be the fifth? Should it be Bailey? Should it be Kairi Sane? And Bianca rather aggressively shuts them both down. Bianca saying she doesn't trust these two fellow faces. I feel like that is putting her in an antagonistic position towards the faces in general. That's going to be that's the beginning of it. And I think, like you said in text, like you said to me in Messenger this week, that what we're going to get is actually, do you want to say it since it's your idea?
No, go ahead, because I don't remember.
All right. You said that they're going to do what they did with Triple H and Shawn Michaels,
There you
where
go.
they're going to show surveillance camera footage, and we will see it was Bianca.
Oh my
And then
God.
there's the turn.
Oh my God. Well, we'll see about that, and we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Wrestling's so crazy.
Hmm.
Because it's like you don't know. Like maybe they didn't find her till
Hmm.
later. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't know. Sometimes you can keep your attacks quiet. They do magic, as
Yeah.
long as it's not Rikishi. You know, he's got no reason for this. It's got nothing to do with The Rock.
Unless The Rock just asked for it.
Did you hear about what happened on NXT?
No, tell me.
All right, so apparently there's a backstage thing. Eddie Thorpe wants to speak to Ava,
Hmm.
and he's got like the door, and she's like right by the door, and he's like, Ava, please. And as he's doing that, two other guys get into an argument, and they
Hmm.
knock into the door, and she takes a bump.
Hmm.
And like HBK thinks that Thorpe knocked Ava down,
Hmm.
and he got aggressive with him. He's like, "You put your hands on her." It was crazy.
Hmm.
It was very interesting. I wonder what the point of that is, because like he could play the tape back. Obviously, those guys knocked into her. It wasn't Eddie Thorpe's fault. You didn't have to do all that. You should apologize. You know, like
Right.
you could check the camera. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like cooler heads will prevail. So
Hundred
if
percent.
anything, all he was being annoying. I keep taking the belt off. You know what? We're gonna leave the belt off because I gotta keep switching things around all the time. So that'll be for later. But you guys know what it is. Um, so
Just keep it warm for me.
no, that's bullshit, Rich
You'll
Torres.
keep it warm for me.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna keep warm for you.
What's
This
that?
match, we're gonna okay. So you wanted to bring some stuff up first, like before we
Yeah,
get into war games.
there was some really, really good stuff on this week's Raw. Now, in general, all of the character work, all the dialogue, the monologues, the promos have all been really strong lately. But one thing in particular, one segment that really stood out and outshined just about all the rest of Raw to me was the New Day segment. Woods and Kofi backstage after the match. That argument that they finally got into, that they finally just unleashed.
Boiled
All
over the kettle. It's the teats.
right. All these years of frustration between the two of them. Kofi finally telling Woods, you never held a singles title because you were never good enough. Bomb.
Man, that was hurtful. I feel like if
Mm,
that was me, I would feel like really bad inside. You know, that would make me feel good.
mm,
But both Kofi and Xavier are fans of Dragon Ball, so their
mm,
outfits, specifically from the Dragon Ball Super manga, which is after Dragon Ball Z, and it exists in canon where Dragon Ball GT never happened.
mm,
And in this, Goku has he's not really a doppelganger. He's like it's him from a parallel universe
mm,
where his body was swapped by a god. So he's like a guy that stole Goku's body. He's called
okay.
Goku Black. That's
Mm,
his name. He's Goku Black.
mm,
And he's evil Goku, basically. So it's Xavier's dressed as evil Goku, and then Kofi's regular Goku, and it's like, okay. But I really think this is gonna friends fight, and I think Big E's gonna come. He's gonna help them. Like he's gonna stop this nonsense, and maybe they need to settle it in the ring. Just have a match. Just have a friendly match between two brothers,
Hmm.
just like they did Jimmy and Jay. Why not? I don't mind that.
Yeah, just let off steam.
Settle your differences, and then you shake hands and you hug after,
Hmm.
and maybe it'll be Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston putting Xavier over,
Hmm.
and let him get that validation, beating a former world champion. Passing a test.
Hmm.
Like if you could beat me, then maybe you do have a shot. I don't know.
The one point that was made overall in the whole segment that I didn't agree with was Woods criticizing Kofi for losing the belt so quickly to Brock Lesnar. It's Brock Lesnar, bro. Like, what are you gonna do? It's Brock.
That's true. Biggie put up a long fight, though. At least
True, but Brock's power is ridiculous. If you don't have some sort of
Brock
power to
power.
right, Brock power. If Kofi didn't have the tools on that day to really stand a chance.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can fault Kofi for that.
Kofi's a good guy.
Hmm.
But he really charged at Brock Lesnar, and that was a stupid move.
Yep.
You get caught. You just like, what? I'm taking the bullet.
Yeah.
This is like the apex predator, but like for
Hmm.
real.
Hmm.
And like not Randy Orton. All Randy Orton did was call me stupid,
Hmm.
but not mean like. He was really nice about it. He was a nice guy about it. Because I miss Randy. May he rest in peace. Kevin Owens power drived him, so let's not forget that.
Hmm.
Hopefully we see Randy back. They resurrect him. But yeah, I want New Day to stick around forever. You know,
Yeah.
Even if Kofi got chopped really hard one time and is just never recovered from that. You know,
Not ever.
I can't believe he wrestled Gunter. Like, do you know things can get worse? Things can get worse for you.
Hmm. Facts.
Yeah.
I recently found out that, for instance, right when the night that Jerry Lawler had his heart attack,
Dolph Ziggler,
he had the
the
match with Dolph Ziggler
elbows.
earlier in the night.
Yeah.
It is perfectly feasible for the elbows that Dolph was hitting to have maybe one of them happen to occur at a particularly sensitive time in the um during the heart rhythm, during the electrical cycle of the heart,
Yeah.
and could have caused it. Apparently that's a thing. It happens. I'm told it happens in football all the time. Maybe not all the time. I hope not all the time, but it's not so uncommon and it's not unheard of at all.
I just glad I don't have that issue.
Same.
I got boobs though, so I didn't. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good.
You got some padding. What we're saying is Kofi doesn't have that kind of padding.
So I guess that's fair. It's not his fault.
It's
I'm
not his fault.
sorry. I'm not making fun of anybody. I can't. Look how round my circle is. There's just circles not as round as this, dude. Like, come on, son. Look at this. All
No,
right.
hard to tell. You got the hat on. My head is clearly.
I
If I
had
go like
the
this, it's like
Rich
like
Derez. You should be happy because somebody came here and they hit the subscribe button because they wanted to keep you bald.
yes.
They want to
Thank you.
keep Riz bald.
Thank you. New subscriber, all subscribers. Thank you so much for all the support.
Keep him
Thank you for keeping me
bald.
bald.
Next on the docket. Did you have another thing that you wanted to?
You sent me a tweet or you tagged me in a tweet or whatever it was by Karrion Kross. He essentially cut a promo on X pre-taped out in a desert, it looked like, or something, talking about the Wyatt 6.
You know, if you want, I could play it for you here. I mean, it's off his social media, right? Like it's not like it could be copyrighted. It wasn't on TV.
Facts. There was no
So
WWE logo.
I'll bring it up since you entertain the people while I find it under my thing.
So Karrion Kross, I've kind of always been a fan. When he came out to the main roster, he's doing this thing. He's doing a lot of talking. And momentarily, because we are going to watch the video first.
Sound check.
Hear it.
Once upon a time, I had a good friend. We'll just call him Shaw. He used to love to talk. After a while, though, he let the world bury out his voice because I just think like he felt like nobody was really listening to what he had to say, but I always was. I really enjoyed our conversations. And then something else came and took his place. I don't really recognize what that thing is anymore, but if I could talk to him and I knew he was listening, I would ask him, how have you not figured this whole thing out yet? Because there's no way you would go along with this. There's 5, not 6. Has nobody asked the question, where's number 6? What happened to number 6? I mean, the color scheme is exactly the same. It's black, white, and red. There's a cross in the logo. Was that not a dead giveaway? I've had a vulture with me since 2020. Everybody's seen it. It followed me around everywhere I went. And I was proud of that. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm not telling you how it is. I just want you to think for yourself. I want you to really analyze the situation. And there's no going back. After he put hands on Ellering, sometimes I think to myself, he did that on purpose to sabotage this conversation I could have with Shaw. But I don't even know if Shaw is there anymore. And that kills me, losing a friend. But that's life, right? You got to roll with it. I'm still rolling with this. Not everybody apparently seems to know what that means, but there was a plan before this plan came along. And all I could think to myself is, would he have wanted this? And I can't answer that question. I can't. All I can tell people is, I'm the devil you know versus the devils you don't. Think about it.
And I will think about that. Karrion Kross, everybody. Karrion Kross. Thank you, Rich DeRiz, for remembering that I did that. See, I
Very
do a
well.
lot for this thing, Spend a
Absolutely.
lot of time on X doing research.
Mhm.
Picking up on things. Hopefully they don't mess with us for that because I don't think that was on TV. It was on his social media. Thank God for self-promotion.
Yep.
So what I take from that is he's implied that he was supposed to be in the group and something changed and maybe they sabotaged it so they couldn't wake Shaw up or something, or I don't know. What do you think about that?
I definitely think that's one of the things that's being implied. For anyone that doesn't know, in TNA there was a guy, Samuel Shaw, who is now known as Dexter Loomis. Obviously, remember the Wyatt 6. So there's a lot. It's kind of a lot to unpack, and I feel like unless you are really on the inside, that you're not even going to know how much there is to unpack. Talking about the Wyatt logo that he got tattoo on his wrist.
He had a buzzard following him. He was proud of that. It's weird.
He said vulture. So
sorry, vulture, whatever. But I was like,
right,
a weird
6
thing to
one, half
say.
a dozen of the
I was
other.
proud of that. It's like, okay, you've trained the fucker. Like, I don't understand. Okay, that's awesome.
Now I wonder if he's talking about the logo or Scarlet.
No, I think there was an actual vulture. Like, in NXT that for the like it flew at him or whatever.
Maybe if
for an
there was, I
entrance
don't
or
remember it.
something. Anyway, oh, but what about getting hands laid on his wife? Like Nikki Cross and beat the shit out of Scarlett, man. Gave her them hands off screen.
Hmm.
So I guess
Yeah,
she threw herself around a bit. Anyway,
a little bit.
I mean, it'd be okay to see them like fight, but whatever. I guess. Like I thought Scarlett was a badass. I thought she could bump, man. She went through a fucking table at freaking WrestleMania with Beef Fab.
True,
Beef
but
Fab.
you know what? I think this is directly related to what I said a couple weeks ago
Beef
when
Fab.
the 5-on-5 brawl happened, where Nikki Cross shouldn't be bested by Scarlett. Within the WWE realm, Scarlett hasn't done anything but been a manager. Nikki Cross has been a women's champion.
What's the end game, Rich Riz?
You know, I feel like with everything Wyatt related,
Yeah,
I don't know, and I like that.
I
I
love
like
it.
being
Yeah,
surprised.
and like I don't know what could be the bad ending to that. You know, the only thing is like no one ever talks about it again.
Right. That's the worst thing they could do is let it all fall flat. Interesting question though, where is the sixth man, and him cross referencing former plans, and he's the devil we know and they're the devils we don't. Is there going to be, are they going to be become a mega faction after the feud is done? It's just like, okay, we're all together now. Are we all the Wyatts? So is just Cross going to go over? A lot of questions,
If
more
it were
questions than answers.
me, I would have. Well, look, this is hypothetical. I would just have Cross join them and shed the excess weight.
Yeah, let AOP just do AOP things.
Unless, because like a mega faction, man, that's a lot of people that like you need to be a force then. Then they have to be a force. Like they can't just be like away from TV for weeks like they do with them then. Because it's like
Yeah.
they're like this huge faction. Like that's a power vacuum. Like you need somebody to go up against that or else they're in charge. That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Yeah, I mean, sure.
That's
They could go over
tremendous.
the asylum. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be like mid tier NWO.
Yeah, and like I guess it works because then that not everybody's on the same show all the time. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it'll be the cross side of things, and maybe like some people are more into cross than they are Bo Howdy. I don't know. Like later on, like down the line,
Mm-hmm.
obviously not 5 minutes from now.
Right.
What you could do there? Monster Civil War. Uh,
Yeah.
right. Speaking of Civil War, I don't want to go into war games just yet. Bear
Mm-hmm.
with us because there was another announcement. Now I am okay with eating crow. All right, I'm gonna eat my crow.
Mm-hmm.
Full of crow. Rich DeRiz, Basement Jer said, he said, listen, they're going to have the Women's United States Championship. There's no need for an Intercontinental Championship. Just let's find it on both shows. But apparently they thought otherwise because now there's the Intercontinental Women's Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have enough women? Now, that's just a Raw belt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. I just think if you utilize them, like that's why I'm not like I hate it because it's like it wasn't. I don't think it's the best idea, but like, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Maybe they know something that I don't. You know, because then you can have women title defenses, whereas Liv barely does anything on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't wrestle that much.
True.
And there you go. There you have your women's match that's important because there's a belt.
Mm-hmm. I think they can, even if Okay, so two scenarios. A, even if they don't quite have enough women for a mid-card belt women's title on both Raw and SmackDown, plus the already existing one in NXT, that you can still just use it to weave storylines around the 8 or so you have. Or they're ready to bring people up, like Julia and Stephanie Vaquer are definitely ready. As I understand it, I think
I don't
Jordan
want to
Grace
share
is.
her with the world.
I know.
She's my favorite. She's my favorite NXT.
Stephanie?
Stephanie. Yeah, she's my favorite. She's sometimes she looks like Aubrey Plaza, but she's
Mhm.
got better everything. Like
Hmm.
everything. Like literally everything.
Facts.
She's the best. Anyway, you're saying.
That's okay. As I understand it, Jordan Grace's TNA contract is coming up, I think, in January,
Sure.
and she definitely is main roster material.
You should at least have Natalia in the tournament.
100%.
I think you give it to her. Honestly, I think you let her be the first one.
I'm down. She's Raw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna happen? Da, 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 da. Ric Flair's what? Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair's gonna come out. She's gonna be in the first round. She's gonna knock Natalia out just to spite me. Just to spite me. But Vince isn't here,
You know what
so
I'm doing?
maybe that won't happen.
I'm holding up my invisible do not want sign.
Yeah, well, maybe this won't be ammunition for the Horowitz device.
I hope not.
Who do you think should get it first?
Natalia's a great choice. She's absolutely credible. Raquel. I mentioned her for the U.S. title because I didn't know at the time that.
Yeah, I
There
should have
for
guessed
sure.
it since the tournament participants were all SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like,
Raquel's a good
I
choice.
do a wrestling podcast.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think Raquel. So other than Natalia, I don't even remember last time we saw Natalia. Was she just backstage doing something?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, Raquel.
All right. Well, that's when the Bookiverse can comment down. And who do you think? You could pick one. Which Raw woman should be the Intercontinental Champion? The inaugural and
Mhm.
beyond. All right, Rich Torres. I think it's time to talk about War Games. And if let's start with the most difficult match on the card. Let's talk, and this will bring us into the time traveling. We're going to first talk about the Bloodline Civil War Games match. It is the OG Bloodline plus Rich Deriz's favorite guy, CM Punk, versus the Bloodline, the midline, but lately becoming Bloodline is fine with me. Now that they're actually feel like real people, like Solo's not being that stoic rock. Like I said last week, he's alive. Everybody's all in. I can't stand Bronson Reed still. Still, if you're gonna have a fifth man, it's gonna be Bronson Reed. He fits the aesthetic, what they're going for. Bunch of big meaty men. Got Solo, Jacob, and Bronson, and then you got the Sons of Haku. You could just think of them as assassin class. So they'll be at the flank, all the meat's up front. You know what I'm saying? So Bronson Reed and Jacob, they're the big fat balls. You know what I'm saying? And then Solo, he's right there in the middle, just on the desk right there. And he doesn't give up. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't care. Rich Deriz, if I could have seen the look on your face when CM Punk was announced as the fifth man, as prophesized, I take you now, gentlemen, behold the Horowitz device, a miracle of nuclear backpatting technology. As you can see, the science and shit battery compartment, which allows us to go back through time and look at this podcast. There's no other way to do it but through painstaking backpatting power from Friday till today on Wednesday. Here it is in all its glory. This is owned by the Basement Bookers Podcast.
Paul Heyman probably upset with the tribal chief. He feels abandoned by him because they left him to get put through a table.
I think CM Punk should be the fifth man. I think Paul Heyman is not, upset with Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he just, I don't know, explained it. I don't know about the phone thing. That's a problem. That's something that's got to be figured out. So I don't know, maybe if he is, but I don't know. Because it would be interesting because it's like they asked Seth Rollins
Mm-hmm.
and he said no. And now Bronson Reed's the fifth man. What better way to make it where Seth's actually thinking about joining? And then they're like, no, we got CM Punk. It's okay. Technology, everybody. Oh. You're too close, man. You're too close. I'm too close.
Listen, the Horowitz device still has a couple of kinks to work out.
Science is hard. That's a lot of back patent technology. But yes, it is CM Punk the fifth man. Dude, when I was so excited. I was like, I fucking called it. I called it. But we got to call it where it matters, Mr. Riz. Let's talk about this segment. How did you feel about the segment entirely of, Paul Heyman coming back? How Paul Heyman was dressed. It was interesting. It's not his normal attire. It was a little bit more laid back. It looked almost like the same outfit Solo was wearing the day he destroyed Paul Heyman.
Indeed it did.
Could he be sending a message? You are not my tribal chief still, even after that.
One thing that I've learned about the Bloodline and Paul Heyman throughout the past number of years that the Bloodline has been on top of WWE is that you may think you know, but we don't know yet. We just don't know yet. Heyman wearing the red shirt underneath did remind me of Solo, but maybe he just doesn't have a red button down to go with the blazer, more OG Bloodline style.
I don't know. I think Paul Heyman could get close. I don't know. He's got connections. He's in, he knows people in the garment district. I'm sure
he does. I'm sure he does. As far as Punk, you called it. You thought it was a good idea. Here we have it. And of course, I was reminded of, I think it was the week before Heyman got put through the table. Heyman asked Punk a favor. And Punk is addressing the Bloodline. The midline, which I don't think was Jacob just yet. Maybe it was. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know time. And Punk asked Heyman, what was that favor you wanted to ask of me? And Heyman says, take me with you.
Yep.
Now, clothes or not, we have Paul Heyman, who used to be Punk's advocate. We know he was Roman's wise man. What is his actual role right now? Is he going back to being the wise man to the tribal chief Roman Reigns?
I hope so.
My guess is not, and I think that's why he changed his phone number. that he might again be working for CM Punk.
Interesting.
And I think after the bloodline, the OG bloodline, that is, of course, wins the War Games match.
Oh
Maybe there
my
might,
God. He
maybe
made
there
his
might be some.
prediction.
Yeah, I did. Maybe there might be some shenanigans during the match. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I think maybe is Roman's next feud CM Punk.
Maybe it is. But Richter is. Since you made your pick,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I should make mine.
I
But
think you
before
should.
that, I do want to say that had
Mhm.
they had access to another Paul Heyman guy, it would have been the better move. Like that would have been the move if you had, like you said, if they had Brock.
Mm-hmm.
That would be better. That would be the move. That would be like real Avengers shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
you, Hulk decides to join up, like him and Jacob. Like, oh my God. But
Yep.
I digress.
Like Jacob just not scared of anything, and Brock standing in front of him like, "All right, I'm gonna throw you now.
I'm
How do you,
about
how do you
to.
want to be thrown? You want to be at 5? Do you want to go Suplex City? You want me to just chuck you into the stands like Bam Bam and Spike Dudley? What do you want? I'll do
I'm
it.
about to shake the very foundations of this podcast.
I'm holding on.
I love you, Solo. I think that this War Games match is going to the Samoan Werewolf. I also predict that the Bloodline is going to get the advantage because there's an advantage match on SmackDown,
Mm-hmm.
Jay versus Jacob, and I believe, I don't know, it may be Jacob's first singles match on SmackDown.
That sounds correct.
So, not that that matters
Mm.
because it doesn't, but I think, and I'm putting it in officially, I think it might be Bloodline 2. And I
All
don't know
right.
where you go from here, honestly. Maybe, like you said, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, you know? But
Yeah.
I
So.
think, yeah,
Mm.
I was thinking maybe that would throw just more fuel on the CM Punk Seth Rollins fire instead. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it'll be that immediate because I think Seth and CM Punk might have some things to say to each other after this shit.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't matter who goes where. As long as the two are in the same company, those two are gonna have things to say to each other.
Yeah. I wonder what deal they worked out to get Punk on SmackDown. But I guess it's just a one-off because he's War Games. War Games is for both shows anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Sammy's the Raw guy too, so it doesn't matter. So is
Right.
Jay. What am I talking about? What an idiot! Sorry, guys, but I remembered why I'm wrong this time.
That's all right. So yeah, both shows are on USA right now, so the exclusivity is out the window until Raw moves to USA.
Great. You mean Raw moves to
Netflix.
Netflix and SmackDown moves to USA and then eventually winds up on Netflix?
Yes.
Yeah, I hope they get their streaming issues fixed up, man, because I heard that Tyson thing didn't go too good. The streaming on that.
Yeah, quite a few things about that fight didn't go too good.
Well,
Yeah,
it could
beside
lead
the
to
point.
Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson in WrestleMania.
I'm not sure if I want that.
Me neither. All right. So yeah, I'm locked in on Bloodline 2. This is a first, man. Like, there's a real civil war here. Whew.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I like Solo. He's not my tribal chief.
Hmm.
I feel like if you're gonna make this bloodline, if you're gonna solidify this bloodline, they may have to win this. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? But I
Hmm.
really hope I'm wrong here, honestly. Like, this is one of those situations. But the Booker in me is like, this makes more sense. Are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
The next match is War Games number 2. You say that because we don't know who's first, who's second. We have Rich. Why don't you introduce this match? You introduce the ladies.
All right, here are the ladies. We have Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi Io Sky, and Bailey versus Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae.
Wow, Rich. Thank you for doing that. I was so thirsty. All right.
Very welcome.
Like chuck my
Happy to help.
cranberry juice while you were doing that.
Nice.
Um,
I had to look at the list because I cannot depend on my memory, and you know that.
you could have just looked at the picture. That's what I do.
I don't want to. I don't want to have to squint. I don't want to have to try to like blank
Try
on someone's
glasses.
name.
You need glasses.
I allegedly do.
You should probably see an optometrist, sir.
That's
Dude,
on
it
the
might help your
list.
Fortnite.
It might help my Fortnite.
Yeah, if nothing else, it's an advantage. You should really accelerate that on your timeline, buddy.
As it is, in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'm going for a sleep study.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I want because
It
I
sounds
don't
like
get
the groundings of a horror movie. Just
according.
be careful.
Yeah, sorry to delve into my real life.
Well, it's in the podcast now, baby. Don't worry. We
Here it
got
is.
4 more matches to go through. It's all good. Don't worry.
Yeah, real quick. According to my Fitbit, I don't get nearly enough REM sleep
I knew
or
you were
deep
saying
sleep.
that. That's not good for you. That takes like time off your life, dude. You need to sleep.
Exactly. So, gonna go. My doctor set me up with a sleep study. It's scheduled 2 weeks from this Saturday. It's a Saturday night.
Wow.
So I get to.
Are they gonna
I
put
don't-
like things on your forehead or whatever to get brain scans and stuff?
as I understand it.
Oh my god. Hopefully you don't get a Batman villain that inserts nightmares into your head. And like it's you think you're like living your life and then crazy shit starts happening, but really you're asleep. Oh my god, I love this movie.
Thank you so much for the literal nightmare fuel.
It's something to think about, buddy.
Damn it.
Just remember, you're in control. All right? You have the power.
Mm.
That's the power of lucid dreaming. You have to remember that once you know you're dreaming in the dream, which by the way, 9 out of 10 times I fail to do so. So I'm just talking shit. But that one, when you get it, it's fucking amazing. It's amazing. All
I will
right.
try.
So speaking of nightmares, because Rhea Ripley, she's a nightmare in there. Not Cody's not on the
She's not the
card.
nightmare anymore.
Cody's not on the card.
Crazy.
All right. Wow, my mind. Okay, so
Yeah.
Team Liv, Team Rhea. By the way, Liv Morgan called her diarrhea on X. I popped.
Bro.
I was like, that's awesome.
Bro, that's you. You know she watches.
She's got to, and it's okay, Liv. Being 81 is the great number on the podcast, and who knows, someone else could be 82.
I mean, 81 is 9 squared.
Exactly.
I mentioned because 9 is my favorite number.
Oh,
I love the symmetry of it.
Oh, all right. Well, there's no symmetry in this match, Rich Perez, because I've got Team Rhea to win in the War Games.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have Team Nia Jax.
This
I live.
is going to be the craziest Survivor Series. So far, we got 2 differences.
Yeah.
So either way, it could be a tie. But we still got more to go, Rich Perez. Let's talk about the anticipated World Heavyweight Championship match between the Ring General Gunter and Damian Priest. With this image here.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about the build up to this. Because it all depends on what happens at Survivor Series War Games. Because if Gunter squashes Damian Priest, then I'll be fine for it.
Mm-hmm.
If he finally snaps and it actually works instead of being put through a table. Like he's been on the tail end of a beating for a while. And I don't buy for 1 second that he shook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going with the ring general. He's going to be the champion. He's going to stay the champion. I hope.
Mm-hmm. I also have Gunter. I think this this nervousness that he's been portraying, the potentially scared,
He's playing
is
games.
right. It's part of the act. He is being the ring general by lulling Priest into a false sense of security. Like any good general, do not let them know all the tools you have.
Now, what if? I can't believe I'm saying this. What if Gunter loses? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you don't see Gunter for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes after Cody because he wants revenge. He wants to prove that he's better than Cody and take the championship off of Cody. So that's possible. Because, like you said, it doesn't matter who's on what show.
Right.
A Cody Gunter feud for that championship could work, but I hope Gunter wins. I hope he wins.
Yeah. It kind of just makes more like right now. Priest is a really, really strong face character, especially with Cody's title not being on the line at Survivor Series. It makes sense to keep the Raw title, SmackDown title on Gunter.
SmackDown titles on Cody.
The Raw title.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, just big gold belt on Raw. That's it. And then WWE Championship on SmackDown, like back in the day.
There you go. It still requires me to remember something. But thank you. Thank you for the attempt at trying to help me remember.
What you don't have to remember, because there's a picture.
That's
Thank
right.
you, WWE, for not making one. So they didn't make one, so I had to do this. Rich, you go ahead there.
All right. For the United States Championship, we have L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Defending against the returning Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, boy, Rich Perez. Let me tell you something. LA Knight's been a great United States champion.
Yeah.
But the title's changing hands at Survivor Series. Because Shinsuke Nakamura is taking that belt. It's time, baby. And then that means that every belt, if assuming Gunter wins, is held by a heel except for Cody's belt.
Well,
But I mean, Braun's not really a heel, I
mhm.
guess, but he's not really a face. He's kind of just Braun Breaker.
Yeah, they're doing that with him.
Yeah, okay. So who
So
do you have for this?
I'm also going with Shin. It's been
Thank
a
God.
while. Yeah, it's been a while since he's been around. I feel like I don't know if maybe they just don't have a good idea of what to do with LA Knight. Yeah, right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what? Put the title on Shin. Let him defend it against Andrade
Okay, it's a
or
different
something.
match. It's a different match, I guess.
No, I know. Like eventually,
Who
Shin
knows?
gets the belt
Maybe
from
LA
Knight.
Knight could get his rematch. They'll
He could.
feud for it. Maybe make him a little bit more interesting. Try to chase the belt.
Yeah.
He had a taste for that gold, and he wants some more.
Yeah.
All right, we're locked in, baby. And now for the final match on this list here, Rich.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes. I'm already even locked in with my choice.
Now, here we have. Let's pause for a second. I need you to do me a favor since you didn't do it.
Hmm.
I need you to ask me why Sheamus is so big. Okay.
Okay.
And now we have Broad Breaker,
Uh-huh.
Sheamus,
Yeah.
and Ludwig Kaiser.
Why is Sheamus so big? I'm just curious.
What do you mean? He's the Great White.
He is the Great Wise.
That's why he's so big. He's the Great White.
Okay. I'm down. I'm down with it. I like it. He is the Great White.
The Great White Sheamus, who will not become Intercontinental Champion.
Oh,
I
controversial.
got Braun Breaker to retain.
You know,
I'm going the safe way here.
especially after Raw, it looks like that would probably be the case, but I'm going to go with Sheamus. I feel like,
Oh my God, the Grand Slammer.
yeah, they're finally going to give him the Grand Slam, but it's going to be in a triple threat match, and maybe he pins Kaiser.
Oh, that'll send him off the deep end.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to become champ, but he didn't pin the champ to become champ, so they can continue the Braun Sheamus feud, maybe plus Ludwig.
I feel like Braun Breaker is going to have the Intercontinental Championship 8 times before 2025. And it's November.
Damn.
Because that's
They're
that
gonna Charlotte him?
is like, yeah, I think so. Because I think you're probably right. So, yeah, I mean, maybe. Shit.
All right. Now, we do have 3 differences, but in the case of well, two of the differences are the War Games matches, but in case somehow Ludwig Kaiser wins this match,
Dude, if he wins that match, we might have to cancel the podcast. That's like nuclear. I really don't think he's gonna win.
to whoever is listening, please don't make that our last trip in the Horowitz machine.
Please don't.
Please.
Oh my God, if he wins, this is gonna be great content. I'm also very sad. Oh my God. Don't worry, we'll be fine. I'm not betting the podcast on him. I'm
You
just
know
saying,
what,
like, I
though?
really don't. What, you think he could? Oh, what
What
if he
Gunther
wins?
said to Kaiser last week on Raw,
Yeah.
basically saying to him, listen, your father's Axel Dieter. You have to start being able to stand on your own. Kaiser's a real contender in this match.
He's an unknown variable here. Maybe you can't just count him out. Maybe there's a reason he's there.
Man. So this is a really, really intriguing match. You know, now that I remember that interaction. Sheamus's Grand Slam versus Kaiser finally standing on his own. I could definitely see him as IC champ. And Braun being the tweener, current champ, no advantage here. Except for maybe some math, but we don't do math here. I think I'm going to leave this as is for now.
All right.
There's clearly not a whole lot of time for me to come back to it, but I'm going to leave this. If I decide to change my mind between now and the start time of Survivor Series, I will post it everywhere. But I think I'm sticking with this. I'm sticking with Sheamus.
All right.
So, let's get a tiebreaker in the books. Uh,
I'm
right.
going to go under the assumption
Mhm.
that War Games matches will bookend the show.
Mhm.
So I'm under the assumption that the main event will be a War Games match.
Mhm.
It will be the Bloodline Civil War. I'm going to give this match, although I hope it doesn't come to this, I'm going to give this 35 minutes.
Ooh. Okay.
That's a lot, I know. But if I get more than you, then I win.
That's right. So I got it 29 and a half.
Fuck, I'm screwed. All right, I hope it doesn't get to that. You
But you know
really
what?
go
If it
off.
goes, what is it? 32. If it goes 33 minutes or
That's a long
32 minutes,
time. Yeah.
yeah, they're 32 minutes. They're 3 minutes. Whatever. We'll do the math if we have to.
If we have to. I don't think it's going to come to that. I'm going to crush you like a bug. I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay right here. Look, the championship, when it's up here, it's going to be under me. I don't even know why I bothered putting it over there for you. Because it's going to be mine forever, baby. Forever, brother. All right?
I don't think so. I
Right?
think this is it.
You gonna-
Sheamus. I mean, so here's my thinking, especially that match. Braun's not winning.
Wow. Okay.
Braun's not retaining. Braun is not winning that match.
Or I got in your head because you saw Sheamus so big, you're like, yeah, he could do it. He could do it. You saw Great White Sheamus, and you're like, yeah, he could do it.
He can do it.
He can do it. He can do it, man. This is gonna be a tough fight. I'm not saying it's easy.
Hmm.
You know, I don't like to do that because then you lose. You know, and there's no denying that. We have no championship denialism in the Basement Bookers podcast.
That's right, damn it.
We respect the transition of power here.
Mhm.
Wherever the belt goes, we go where the people go, where the bookers go, the real ones, the ones that make the match. Hashtag free Ricky Starks. Free Ricky. Free Ricky Starks.
Free Ricky.
Free Ricky. Keep Rich the Riz bald. Rich the Riz. This was War Games. This
That's
was
right.
the War Games.
Mm-hmm. And this is going to be War Games.
Yeah, Saturday. It's going to be War Games. And we hope you like War Games. And we hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. All right?
Yeah.
Eat your turkey or not turkey. I don't know. Some people, they don't eat meat. I mean, it's fine. It's a choice. Whatever. But I love meat. And I like to eat meat. And it's okay if you don't like to eat meat.
That's right. I'm gonna put on a whole lot of weight on Thanksgiving, and I don't care. I have mentally budgeted for it, and I'm gonna walk it off at some point.
I've pre-purchased a Mumu. All right, so I'll be ready to expand. But yeah, do the thing, buddy.
All right. Everyone, we want you to have a happy Thanksgiving. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend. Happy birthday once again, or Hatch Day to the gobbledygooker. Bro, happy Thanksgiving. Best to you and yours. And let us know down below which match you think is going to close, what your picks are. Let us know anything about the War Games. There was something last week too, Full Gear or something. That was a thing. That was a great show, right? So let us know down below.
Oh yeah, Full Gear was good.
Yes, Full Gear was good. And Jer's got a party message.
Well, before that, I have the Super Basement Booker question, and that'll be outside of here. You know, what is your favorite Survivor Series and why? You know, why would your favorite Survivor Series match, your Survivor Series moment, Survivor Series debut, traditional Survivor Series match? Put it right down there. All right. So the match of life is scheduled for one fall. So make it count.
Do what the man says.
Follow the Bookers. There's two of them.